Well, all right, Matt.
Okay.
Tell me who you are and where you're from.
Uh, Matt Vogel. I am born and raised in Pittsburgh, and I'm from. I was born in Bloomfield, grew up in Bloomfield, went to Immaculate Conception Grade School, then Central Catholic High School, and from there went to Penn State Beaver. Originally went to school to be a teacher. That's what I planned on doing, teaching and coaching. And
Where are you going to teach?
I thought the best dream job was to be a gym teacher,
I was going to
and
be a gym teacher too.
who doesn't
That
want to
was,
be?
yeah, it was like I was a gym. I was, what do they call that? A gym class hero.
Okay,
I was definitely a gym class hero. I was like the best.
so yeah,
I
for
was like, I'll
us,
just do that
gym
job.
teacher, others known as kinesiology major.
Yes.
Got to be fancy, but
Yep.
gym teacher. One day I went to visit my dad, who is a teacher at his school during recess, and it was recess. All the kids were running around and seeing them, and decided that this is not for me.
Yeah.
So at that point, I didn't know what I wanted to do. That was always my plan, and uh, just so I eventually left school and had to figure things out, and that led to me getting into construction.
Okay. What around?
But as far as who I am,
What?
as far as who I am, though, do you want my family like information?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell me like, yeah, who you are. You know, your wife, your son. I mean, talk about that. Where you live now.
Yep. Currently live in Shaler and married with one son who will be 9 soon.
Yep. And coaching
Coach baseball and uh,
that he plays in.
yeah, that he plays in. So yeah, currently anything my son is involved in, I help out with. But yeah, baseball is the one thing. I play baseball, so I coach baseball, his teams.
Okay. All right. So what's your everybody has a why in real estate. And like mine when I started it was to get out of my job that I had before. And then it changed to, it your why can often change. So how about let's do this. What was your why of why you got into real estate? And then what's your why now? So you've been in real estate how long now?
About 8 years,
So,
going on 9 years.
so you got your license in 2018?
Actually got my license, I guess, yeah, 2018, but really didn't get started until 2019.
Okay. Okay.
Went to school for it in 2017.
Okay.
So
Got you. Okay. All right. So what was your why when you started at that?
my why
Of why
is
you got into real estate?
yeah,
Yeah.
why I got into real estate is I was doing construction, love construction, love being able to kind of just I have good vision to see what things can be.
Yeah.
And when I bought my first house in 2007, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know the process. Nobody helped me. I didn't have anybody to help me. I didn't even know there was a buyer agent. I feel that the agent that did help me, that was on the listing side, she just did both sides because I just randomly walked up to the house and knocked on the door because the door was open. And that's how I bought my first house. And but she did show me the house and completely lied to me and made it me believe that I could turn it into so many different things. Which knowing now and not too long after, I realized that no, that wasn't possible because at that time I didn't know that much about construction.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
um,
And you're
but the reason I got into it is that I really like to help people. I want to educate people on the process. I want them to have a good experience. I don't want them to look back and think, feel the way that I felt as far as having a bad experience. I mean, everything worked out. I bought a great house, but if I had somebody representing me, I would have probably saved more money and had a better understanding of what I was signing and what I was really getting into. And so that's what I really want for everybody I work with. Like, just it is just really important to me that people have a good experience, understand the whole process, and ultimately buy the house that they want that makes sense for them. And when they sell their house, they get the most amount of money and have a smooth transaction.
nice. All right. So that's why you've gotten into it. So what's your why now? Like, what are you out there trying to, sell as much real estate as you can?
I mean, I think just like everybody else, provide for my family.
Sure,
But I mean, still the why is, and I think always will be, to just I love helping people.
sure,
I mean, it really, I know if I do my job and I do it well, I'm gonna make money. As long as I make enough money to survive and take care of my family, I'm good. But it's just my why is just taking care of my clients.
yeah,
I mean, it's just, there unfortunately there's a lot of bad agents out there, and I wanna make sure they're taken care of and in a good position. It's such a large investment.
yeah. Yeah, it's good when the good agents can, really help out as many people as they can, because you're not wrong about what you said.
Yeah, I mean, you really hear about some nightmares.
Yeah, sure.
So,
Yeah. Um,
and those are the people, though, that appreciate you the most, is when they've had a bad experience, call you, and then have a full transaction, and at closing, they're like, "Wow, that was that was smooth."
yeah, right.
And behind the scenes, you and I both know it doesn't necessarily mean everything went smooth. It just means we know what we're doing. We made sure that process was easy for them.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
So in your first couple of years in real estate, what are some of the biggest challenges you had?
just really understanding the business, learning how to grow a business, understanding exactly what I'm doing, um, and really just getting over that hurdle of the failure,
Mhm,
and the rejection. The hardest part in the beginning is people, using other agents, not everybody, but some, because, they know you're new to it, and people that have known you your whole life, they still see you as, for me, a construction worker, not a businessman.
sure,
And some people didn't even give me a chance to interview. And that's basically all I've ever said and still say to this day is like, you don't have to hire me. Just give me an opportunity to sit down and talk with you.
sure.
That's all I ever ask for.
Yeah. Alright, so I think it's something and the reason why I wanted you to talk during the sales meeting, is you told me something that you do during your buyer consultations that I never heard anybody else talk about this or do it. So I wanted you to talk about it in front of everybody and everyone there was like, "No, I've never done that before." But it's setting the right expectations for your clients of what's actually out there in the market and what they're looking for. So tell me what you do during your buyer consultations to set the expectations with your clients to have that best transaction with them.
Well, once we find out the actual criteria and go through the whole process of buying. Once I have the criteria, whatever that is, for an example, if it is, a family, a move up buyer, North Allegheny School District, max budget 450,000, and they want the 4-bedroom house and flat backyard, updated. Is that realistic? Probably not.
Yeah,
Not anymore. Maybe 5 years ago, better chance. So the best way to really set that expectation is go back, take their criteria, and I search back 6 months, pull up everything that is sold in that criteria, send it to them, and I ask them, how many houses could you have seen yourself purchasing out of those houses? And it may be 120 houses. It could be a lot. Um, and so if they say no, like we didn't like any of those houses, then we know we need to either increase the budget or set new expectations.
sure,
If they liked 12 of the houses over that 6-month period, now we know the expectations are set that we can anticipate 2 houses a month coming on the market.
sure.
So that is really the best clear cut way, especially when you have a buyer that doesn't have realistic expectations, but you don't wanna directly tell them it's unrealistic. This is the best way to show them so they can see for themselves.
Yeah, I think it's and again, I hadn't heard anybody doing that, and when you said that, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's brilliant." And because people really don't know what to expect into it or what's gonna be on the market and how often go out and look, but if they know ahead of time, because 'cause I've had buyers before like, "Hey, are you gonna send me, like, more houses that are on the market that hit our criteria?" And I'm like,
Mm,
"I'm sending you everything that hits your criteria." I'm like, "What you like, there just isn't a whole lot of that out there." So, it it will help them understand what the process is gonna look like so much more, moving forward, and it helps you too of like, well, how are these gonna be people that are gonna wanna well, I guess it stops that we're gonna go out and look at every single house that comes on the market too a lot of times when you
mm,
do set those
yep.
expectations with people. So
And that's my goal. I generally give people, dependent on their criteria, 5 to 10 houses,
yeah,
because I think it's important to take them through those houses, see what's out there, see the bad houses, but then also while you're touring those houses, you ask the right questions.
sure.
You really help them figure out what room size is, what's important, is how important is a lot, how important is a kitchen size. It seems like common sense, but, uh, you see the same people come into open houses for 2 years.
Yeah, yeah, right.
And it's because they have no game plan. They're just searching and they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
And they don't have a plan. And
right.
that's why it's so important to set the expectations from day one. This is a game plan and this is how I'm gonna get you there. Because when I sit down at the buyer consultation, I say, I'm gonna set realistic expectations. This is the process, and I will get you to the point where I am not gonna tell you what you need to make for the offer.
Yeah,
You're gonna know after seeing enough houses and going through the process, you're gonna feel comfortable making that offer, even if it's $50,000 over,
yeah,
because you're gonna understand the market, and that's my job, is to help you get to that point.
sure, sure. So, well, on that note, agents, you should be doing buyer consultations, and you should be
100%.
talking through all these things. A lot of times, and this is with clients too. If an agent is offering you a buyer consultation, take it. Ask them questions, get to know them, sit down, learn the process. A lot of agents or clients, what they'll do is they'll meet someone at the house for the first time. And then, oh, do you want to work with me? We just signed the contract. And then I just keep on sending you houses until you like what we get under contract. If you know what the whole process is going to look like throughout the whole time, and really you can drill down and the agent knows of what exactly you want in a home, and the expectations are set as well, it will just make the process for everybody so much smoother. And you as a buyer, you're more informed from doing a hour-long buyer consultation. That's all it takes to know, hey, it's good you're making the biggest purchase of your life. Take an hour out of your day to find
Mhm.
out from a good agent of what does this look like for me and how does this process work?
Well, and that's
So
how you
important.
know who a real buyer is.
Yes.
If they don't wanna drive in to see you in the office, how realistic are they? I mean, unless they're the move up buyer that has 2 kids, working full time, they've been through it, then you kinda work with them over some phone calls, but especially a first time home buyer, they're not willing to come in and meet with you. I don't know how realistic they're gonna be, and they're likely gonna waste your time.
Yeah.
I mean, because that first hour, every time it's like, "Okay, do you feel better now about the process?" And it's always yes, because
Yeah.
you answer so many questions for them. They have so many questions, they don't understand that, but not only by setting expectations from day one help them, it helps us as agents. I
Sure.
mean, I'm saving so much time because if I don't have a set process, I don't want to just go show houses because they sent me a house. Like,
Yeah.
what sense does that really make?
Sure.
You have to have a game plan, and the goal is to get them the house, but you have to make sure you kind of lead the horse to water.
Right. 100%. And this is something I talked about, you bring up again, because I think it is important. I talked about at the sales meeting, but why you do a great job of letting them know, hey, this is what you set expectations of what they're going to buy in a house. But I like to set up the expectations of communication as well.
Yes.
I think it's so important. So sellers and buyers is something I recommend. On the seller side, I say, you get your house on the market and you're going to hear from me at least once a week. We're going to have a set time, a set date. Mondays at 10 o'clock, I'm going to be reaching out to you, however you want to communicate, phone call, text message, or email. I'm either going to say, hey, nothing's new, or else, "Hey, we have this many showings. This is our feedback from the open houses. Maybe we need to talk about a price reductions if it's not off the market," or things like that. If something comes up during it, obviously, I'm gonna be reaching out to them before that, but the good thing is they're never gonna be thinking, I never hear from my agent." They know Monday at 10 o'clock, I'm gonna be reaching out to them. They're gonna hear from me. If if there hasn't been anything going on, then that's the time I'm gonna be reaching out to them. And same thing for, you could do for buyers. If you're not showing people houses all the time, just a quick check in. Hey, just checking in, just seeing if you're still looking at the houses I'm sending over to you. Is there anything you want me to change or do you have any questions? Could be as simple as that. A lot of times it's a nope, all good, just waiting for something good to come up. But something else I like to do too is talk about when I'm available. Because I don't know if you do this, but the agents are like, I'm 24/7. like, are you really 24/7? You're taking calls at 1 o'clock in the morning? There are agents that have done that and will do that. That is not me.
So I
And
will say I am kind of that agent. Only because I just say I put my phone on silent when I go to sleep,
yeah,
and that could be 9 o'clock, it could be 11 o'clock,
yeah,
and I'm just like, I'll see it in the morning and
yeah,
respond. And if I'm available, I don't mind taking the call, but that's
sure,
just how I operate.
yeah,
Because I also understand from their perspective, they may have a question that's just driving them crazy.
sure,
Now, every once in a while, you do get that client that they always have questions.
yeah,
But you know what, though? When you're making that large of a purchase and investment and they're stressed out and they're emotional, I just want to be there for them. I want
yeah,
it to be a good experience, and then it means that much more to them too.
sure,
So if I have the time, I am available. I'm,
yeah,
I'm not a turn it off at 8 o'clock. I've been doing better with that.
yeah,
I know when to not take it, but
right.
if I'm available, I just take the quick call. And I actually tell them that in the consultation
They're
that
available, yeah,
even when I'm not available, I'm showing houses or whatever, if I look down and see a text and I can't respond right then, I will just say, "Hey, I'm in an appointment and I'll get back to
that
you in
you
a
can.
little bit." But I just
Yep,
don't want them sitting there, "Where's my agent at?" all
right,
day.
yep,
And I normally just tell them, if you don't hear from me, because every once in a while you're responding and then you get the phone call and you never hit send, like
uh-huh,
that, either that happened
yep.
or I'm in a ditch.
Yeah,
So, I respond.
yeah,
That's really important to me, as far as the way I run my business. But
yeah,
once again, that's the beautiful thing about real estate is everybody does things
yeah,
differently, and it works different for everybody.
yeah. So, with mine, it similar, like, I'll take most days, I'm getting back to people as soon as I can, but I do tell them at 9 o'clock. That's my time. If we're in the middle of a contract or if it's time sensitive, like writing something up, 100%, I'll be on the phone with you until it's done, until we have it done. But if it is just a normal day and it's a simple question that comes in at 9 o'clock, like that's my time to decompress. I put my kids down, like I shut down. I'll get to you first thing in the next tomorrow morning. We'll talk about it. But the reason why is because I found out early in my career is that you will have those clients that will take advantage of you.
Yeah.
And they'll be, and some of them like to drink sometimes too, and it will be 11 o'clock at night, and they're calling you on Christmas Eve. I'll literally have that 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, I am not answering this at 11 o'clock at night.
Well,
I know
and
you're at
those
home drunk.
people, you obviously
Yeah,
know the drunk
yeah.
client. We
But for
know
the most part, like if it is a immediate need, yeah, get back to them.
but
But
that first time home buyer, they're nervous, a lot's going on,
sure,
I just take it and deal with it.
yeah.
But let me ask you, what is the craziest place that you've done a transaction as far as negotiated a deal to get under contract or send over an offer? Because we've all done it.
Oh
Like
yeah,
for me, I can't tell you how many times I've negotiated a deal at Chuck E. Cheese.
yeah.
Like I look back, I've done at least probably 3 deals outside of Chuck E. Cheese.
So
And then, yeah, I was in California going to Universal Studios taking phone calls. My
yeah.
wife wanted to kill me, but vacations, like the stuff that
Uh-huh.
at a wedding, I had it set up because I had multiple offers. I had a wedding to go to, but I had everything in place so I could just accept it and then send it in. And the food was coming out, and I'm finalizing a deal right at in the middle of the wedding. And it's like,
It's
uh,
my craziest, and it took me, I was like, "I don't know if I done." Then I was like, "Oh, yeah." When my son was born, literally in the hospital, August 8th, 2019, the day he was born, I had 3 contracts out there that I had written the day before, that and
wow.
I got all of them under I got 3 houses all under contract the day he was born, sitting in the hospital, and I was like to the other agent, I'm like, "I am sorry, I will not take your call right now. I am in the hospital, my wife just gave birth, we have a newborn baby, there's nurses all over, but I am texting you back and forth, but literally got 3 under contract in the hospital the day he was born.
You always
So that's
remember
pretty
that day,
wild.
huh?
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Yeah, so, alright, so moving on, to what are some of the systems and, tools you use here, or just in your business in general, for your clients? Like, what's your favorite one you like to use?
Right now, I think it's the buyer Moxie tour
Mhm.
is the one that I use. If I have 3 or more showings, I love using that. It really doesn't take as long as you would think, and I have a lot of my own stuff uploaded to just add to it. So I have my own, like, what to look for when showing a house, when touring a house, what
Yeah.
to look for, and, just little tips and tricks for buyers that I add on there, but it's so nice because you just pull it up on your phone, you have all the information, they have it too, and they can click on everything, they can even add notes. I've never had anybody actually do that, but they can, and if you wanna add more information, then you can as well, and that's what I really like, that it just makes it a lot easier.
And it gives the driving directions too from
Yeah,
place to place and just
it's
an order of
nice.
where you're going.
And it stays actually up to date because one time, surprisingly, a house went contingent,
Oh,
and
before it went up.
I pulled it up, and all of a sudden it said contingent. I was
Yeah.
like, "What the heck?" We
Oh,
have a
that's nice.
showing,
Yeah.
but it updated immediately, so I was like, "Oh, I
Nice.
guess they accepted an offer."
Yeah.
So,
Well, the one really exciting thing because it is a great tool, but you have to go in Moxie, you have to put the MLS numbers in there, then send over your client. So it takes like what, maybe 10 minutes to go send one
yeah,
out,
it
if that.
does, yeah.
Well, the great thing is when we get the technology, the Compass platform that we're going to have, it automatically is just all built in there. So you go and send the people over that you're going to the houses, that tour, like all the if the MLS printouts essentially, the where you can rate them, the directions, everything is already built into the system. So when you go send it
Wow,
over to them, it's just already there done for you.
oh, that's gonna be
So,
great.
yeah, so that's saving 10 minutes right there, and
Now,
most of the agents aren't doing that.
can you
So it's just
upload your own information that you wanna add to it?
um, I don't know, I guess we'll find out when we get it.
I
I
would
don't see yeah,
imagine,
yeah, I
right?
don't see
You
why
would
not.
think.
You could add things to it, but I think it gives a lot of details because I know you add in some stuff
Yeah.
like things to look for when you're walking through a house and stuff like that,
So
so
that's a big part of what I do with my background in construction is I love just informing the clients and teaching them exactly what they should be looking for when looking at a house and, cost anticipation on how much things are going to be for repairs and initial costs associated with purchasing
yeah,
that property that we're looking at. Because a lot that's the biggest thing. And once they understand cost association with purchasing a property, it makes them feel a lot better moving forward with an offer
sure,
because there's no kind of uncertainties. You still have the inspections, but they understand it a lot more.
yeah,
So that's why I feel like it is important to have that list and teach them about that.
right,
I know not everybody has that background, but if you're in this business, I think it's crazy to not try to learn as much as you can about construction and definitely go to as many inspections as
yeah,
possible.
you learn a
Because
lot
I've
being at the
learned so
inspection,
much.
yeah, because what the inspector puts on the report, like, you can only get so much from words on a report,
Yeah.
but when you're there and they're like, "Oh, I see this," and you can be like, "Well, what's that mean?" And you can ask them questions, and
Yep.
it is worth going, especially if you're a new agent, go to your inspections, and so you can ask some questions and learn more about the houses. It's like I learned a ton from that.
Yep.
Alright, so last question. You're a brand new agent getting in the business. What is some advice you can give to them?
So much advice to give as far as just because I remember my big thing when I was new to the business. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't have anybody I could talk to, really go to. I mean, initially, well, once I got in the office, there's a lot of great people and a lot of support,
Yeah,
but I just didn't have that go to. I was very fortunate to meet Kim Esposito, who asked me to show houses for her. I did a good job, so she kept using me, and we kind of built a good relationship from there, and we became good friends. But she became my mentor. So having a mentor that's been in the business, does well, and having that person to call, that's huge.
yeah, for sure.
And so I think come into the office, meet people that know what they're doing and have been around. That's the big thing, as far as for new agents.
Yeah,
I highly recommend just getting in the office and talking to people and try to latch on to some good agents because that's always how I got business was just even if it's just showing houses, it's a good way to make a couple of dollars while you're getting started.
yeah,
But you also get out there too, and then you can post on social
yeah,
media and just use it that way. That and open houses. Just
yeah,
love
for
open
sure.
houses and I wasn't even selling any houses, but people thought I was because I was always doing open houses and posting it on Facebook.
Yep.
So it's like, "Man, you sell a house every week." Like, if you only knew the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what I tell experienced agents and new agents, 3 best ways to grow your business: how many contacts you're making every day, the more people you talk to every day, the more chance you have selling houses to people, social media, and open houses.
Yeah.
those three things, the people that do all those things well, continue to grow your business. And yeah, there's a lot of other avenues, but all those three things are free.
Yeah.
They're all
But
free. It's
once
just
you're out there showing houses and doing open houses too, you're actually involved in doing real estate,
yes,
which makes it easier to have conversations with other people
100%.
rather than when you're just trying to figure things out, you're not in it.
Yep,
Once you get in it, then it's a lot easier and you feel like more established. And then it's also just giving yourself a realistic time frame on how long it's gonna take you to build your
sure.
business. So for me, I gave myself a 3-year plan that it was gonna take a couple years to really get going,
Yeah,
and that's what it did. I did 3 in my first year, which is like a half a year, and then 6 the following year, but then the year after I did 18 or 19.
nice.
So I knew, like, year 3, that's when it happened, but,
Yeah.
you gotta put the time in and you gotta
The
stay positive
well, that's what
too.
you said. I mean, the single 2 biggest things, and we have here, I think we have all the support, coaching, resources, and training that someone like, I think probably more than you could have at any other brokerage
Mm,
of how much we have. I mean, there's like 10 things you can jump on every single day, between the offices, CBU, the marketing center, like there's just plenty. It really just comes down to the time you want to put in and the
yeah.
effort that you want to put in from what you learn. This is the single 2 biggest things. The agents that fail, they're not putting the time and effort in, or a lot of times just trying some new things that might work. You know what I mean?
And
It's
for me also, I knew in the beginning my background, my strength is construction, and I'm like, how am I going to get listings in the beginning? I don't
yeah.
really know what I'm doing. So I shifted right away to buyers, and that's why I went with open houses. I was like, you know what?
Mhm.
Let me focus on buyers first, get that down, and then I can focus on listings as I become more established.
Yeah.
And that kind of worked out for me. And really, the best thing to do, what I still do to this day, is what can I do to help somebody looking to buy? Like, that they don't already know or they can't find on the internet. Like,
Yeah.
what can I do to provide more information for them? And same thing with listing. Like, what can I do that somebody else isn't doing?
Yeah.
So that's why I just try to find creative ways to be different and separate myself. Because how do you separate yourself from the very top
Right.
agents?
Well, something you said is give good information, and I think where a lot of agents eh, miss this is giving something of value.
Yep.
Like, you should be given a couple things of value before you even do a ask. Agents are all the time are, "Hey, when you're ready to buy or sell a house, let me know." Or if you know anybody looking to buy or sell, like, have you given them anything of value of why maybe they should work with you or send someone to you? Like, give a couple things of value first. Maybe if they're not even looking to buy yet, and then have the ask, and the ask is going to hit so much harder.
I'll give you one more tip.
All right.
You too. Uh, because I don't think I told you this one, but for my open houses, I've never seen anybody else do this one either. Is what I do is I will pull all the open houses in that area and surrounding area
Man.
in that price range, and I'll print it out to give to people that don't have agents and are looking to go see other open houses.
Oh, you did tell me about that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Because people are so, "Wow, this is amazing," and it's
Yeah.
so much easier for them, but that kinda builds a rapport and that trust. It's like, "Yeah,
Sure.
go to other open houses because you're not gonna get the information that you're gonna get from me."
Yeah.
And they get to see the other open house with just a MLS sheet
Yeah.
and a disclosure, and it's like, "Hey, welcome," or their little candy out whenever I just have, like, a pile of information and they come back and call me, and it's like, "Yeah, we wanna work with you because, you have all this
Give
information,"
him more
and
things of value to
yeah,
yes.
as much as
Yeah.
possible,
Yeah.
and that's what it really comes down to, and, expectations,
Yeah.
communications, providing value.
That's awesome. All right. Well, anything else for the good of the people?
The only thing we didn't hit on, was, like, seller expectations and communications.
Do you do anything seller expectations?
I mean, I think the one thing that I do, I don't know what everybody else does, but for me is I try to set the expectations just like anything else and everybody else from day one by having the difficult conversation up front and just being honest.
And what
If
is
their
that?
house if
What is that difficult
their
conversation up
house
front?
needs work, I tell them it needs work.
Yeah.
When I walk and see the house, I do say that it's a nice house, but I also am honest with them that I point out the same thing that the buyers are gonna
Yeah.
point out, so they can already hear it, and it's not gonna be anything new.
Yeah. Something along those lines, and I learned this from John Perry when I started, is he said, "When I go walk through a house," he goes, "Do I have your permission to be brutally honest with you as I
Yeah.
walk through your house?"
Yes.
Like, and then, like, to just set that tone of, like, "Is it okay?" Like, I'm gonna pick out things in the buyer are gonna see and find and what other agents are gonna pick out. So I think it is really important to do that. Just remember, like, "Oh, your house is so beautiful." Well, maybe it's not. Not everybody's is. They're gonna list.
The Another great one whenever somebody wants to, overlist or overprice their house is, talk about the appraisal. It has to appraise,
Yeah,
and that's what I said, "Well, that's great, and even if you got that amount, it's gonna have to be cash because based off the comparables that I have, nothing's showing that price.
yeah,
So they're gonna have a hard time matching that. If they get a loan, that's something you have to be prepared for, because I feel like we run into that a lot in our business is agents aren't having that conversation, the house doesn't appraise,
yep,
seller's upset. And now it doesn't bode well for the buyer. You know, if you're not setting those expectations when bad things do happen, then the seller and buyer is not happy.
yeah,
But whenever you do talk about all the worst and bad possible things that could happen up front, then when they do happen, they're like, "Well, yeah, it stinks, but you did say that was a possibility."
yeah. And when you
So,
get it under contract too for that higher price and saying, "Listen, I know we have it under contract at that price,
yep,
but this doesn't mean we're closing at this price. Like, we
100%
still have to get through the appraisal, and there's chances we might have
appraisal
to negotiate during that time."
and inspections.
Yeah, and
So,
inspections,
I
yeah.
mean, it's just you have to set if you're not having a conversation, then it happens, and they're upset
Yep,
because "Oh, we went under contract for this price. I want that price." Yeah, well,
yeah,
we were only partway there.
yep.
So, yeah, that's a big one. I feel like there was one other thing that